Hi, we're just about to get into the detail of Pareto charts in Excel. But here's just a quick introduction to refresh your memories on what the Pareto Principle, the 80-20 rule, is all about. Now please keep watching until the end because I'm going to introduce some deeper principles which I think will really help that I don't think anybody else is presenting. So hope you enjoy this tutorial. My name's Anthony Lawton. Please leave comments if you'd like some more guidance and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks. When we work, our brain's default position is to simplify things on the assumption that all things are fair and equal. For example, what's your gut reaction when you're told that you have 10 clients to manage and you have 10 hours to do it in? Take a few seconds to think. Well, if you're like most of us, you would jump to the assumption that it should be fair and equal and that each client should be allocated 1 hour each. Fair and equal. The Pareto Principle, 80-20 rule, teaches us never to assume and to jump to such conclusions. There's almost always an unequal relationship between inputs and outputs. So back to our example, what's likely to be the case is that just 2 of these clients will generate 80% of the value to your organisation. Now we're not saying that you should ignore 8 of these clients, but we are saying that you need to focus in on these relationships and treat them very differently. So the number one takeaway from the Pareto Principle is to always focus on the 20% where you and your organisation can add most value. But the best information I can provide is through an example. In 1999, I was working for Air Tours and you had to work incredibly hard in the day job and guarantee that you passed your accounts exams first time. Ordinarily this would be fine, but I had the terrible job of board reporting every Monday. The report had to be ready noon sharp or I was in big trouble. I inherited this report and the processes to deliver it, and it was a true nightmare. I had to get into work by 6 AM to get it done on time. On a Monday morning, it was awful. I just wasn't happy with the process at all. So to cut a long story short, I interviewed all the board members and audited what was valued and what wasn't. What an eye-opener. I then audited the processes, removed the waste, added some extra value and automated an awful lot. This meant that I could get up 2 hours later, and the report was much improved. I got a significant promotion on the back of this work. The key point is the focus on where the real value was for the client, i.e. the 20%, and stopping some of the non-value adding activities within the 80%. This focus really does work. Okay, great. So now we're all fired up, excited about what Pareto can do for us. So Pareto charts are all about taking that concept of focus and turning it into a visualization so it's easy to communicate to people what we need to focus on. So it's a really good tool. Now the first thing to say is I've got 3 examples here and 3 templates. So if you follow the link to the blog, you can download this Excel form and template and you've got it there ready to use and just adapt. So the logic here is that the green is where you'll manually enter stuff, and the blue is where the calculations and the chart automatically populates for you. So I'm going to start with a production manufacturing example because that's where a lot of these charts are used. But then I want to go on to an office example and then the additional bonus insights that I was talking about as well. So let's start with the product then. I'm not going to go into too much detail with Excel. I'm going to assume that most people are comfortable with Excel. I'm just going to talk you through the process and the logic. So we've got 1,000 products that have been audited. And what we've found is that these various faults have been found in this batch of 1,000 that we've audited. And what these are ink smudges and plastic cracks and various things. So we've listed those out and we've put them in order. This is important. We've put them in order, the highest first. So the 45 faults of ink smudges on the case, etc. Now, what the spreadsheet then does is it will calculate what the cumulative position is, so it's just 45 plus 29 equals 74, and then does the formula percentage for that as well. So if you click on that, you can see what the percentage and the formula is. But again, download this template and you've got it done for you. But the important thing is that we've got it in the rank order, and then we've got these cumulative percentages here. And then the graph will automatically populate. Now what you'll see is we've got the highest ones on the left, and then we've got the percentage through here. So what this is visually showing us, back to the Pareto Principle, is that if we tackle these first 2 issues, we're instantly covering 71% of the faults immediately. So it's again really getting us to focus on the key areas. So if you were starting this from scratch, how would you do it in Excel? So you're going to highlight these first two areas and you're going to click on Control and then highlight that column as well. Once you've done that, you're going to go to Insert and go on Recommended Charts. And then you'll see the one that we're after. It's this clustered column. So you click OK and then you get this here. So I've already done it for you. Now what the sort of basic instant one that's done for you shows is the percentage line, but it doesn't show you the percentage on it. And I think the percentages applied to each fault is really powerful. It makes it a lot easier to comprehend. So to do that, you're going to click on that line. You're going to come to this plus point here and you're going to select data labels. Once you do that, these numbers will appear and you've got it. Okay, great. So the next example I want to show is again showing a pretty similar structure, but I want to show you that you can do a similar thing. It doesn't have to be a product manufacturing environment to do this in. So let's have a look at an office example. So again, we've audited 20 reports over the last 20 weeks, and these are the errors that we found. We found 45 had 45 instances of spelling mistakes. We've got 29 inaccurate charts, 22 wrong information, as you can see, etc. So it's showing a very similar pattern. So in this case, it's showing us that just by addressing spelling mistakes and inaccurate charts, we've instantly cleared up 71% of the errors that we're making, which is great. So then you can put systems in place to make sure that these things don't happen. So you can get some peer reviews in place to do the spelling mistakes, etc. So there's things that you can do to make this work. So great, you can use it in all sorts of environments. It's not just manufacturing. Again, this template is here ready for you to download. Now this is where the smart stuff comes in. Now this is basically quantitative analysis that we're doing here. What I want to try and embed into your thinking process is that you should go beyond that. So yes, on here, on the face of it, these are the two big ones that we have to make sure that we get right and we have to focus on and get done first. Obviously we want to try and eradicate all mistakes over time, but we want to start with these. But actually, are these the most important things from the perception of the board members in this example? So what you can then do through this example is a bit of an extra analysis. So we've got the original faults in here, as we did on the previous one, but then we've gone in and said, okay, from a perception weightings, how important these things are, we can weight them. So yes, spelling mistakes aren't great, so we're going to give that a 3 out of 10. It's still something we need to fix, but it's not anywhere near as important as inaccurate charts or the wrong information. These are getting 10 out of 10 in terms of significance and severity. Because you can, that board and the whole organisation can make catastrophic mistakes and wrong decisions by this being wrong. So these are really key. So by doing this and putting weightings in, and then the spreadsheet calculates all the rest, which generates the chart, this is becoming much more powerful. What you need to do once you've done this section is just make sure that you rank order it again, because if you think now we've got our new weighted faults, these are not in the right order, so the chart doesn't look as good. So to do that, you're going to highlight all sections. You're going to go Home and go to Sort and Filter, Custom Sort. You're going to make sure that data headings is set, and then you're going to sort by weighted faults, and you're going to go largest to smallest. And then the spreadsheet instantly corrects itself because you've done that sort. All the formulas still work. And now we've got the new chart. So now what you'll see compared to the previous one is that inaccurate charts and wrong information are accounting for 75% of the importance of the faults that we've got to fix, given this qualitative review as well as the quantitative. So yes, then spelling mistakes are still there and the others still need to be reviewed at some point, but these then are the big ones that you've got to focus on. So the key messages from me are, don't just think this is for production and manufacturing environments, it's for every environment. And don't just think about the quantitative numbers to do this, think about the qualitative side as well. And then an extra little tip in case people are quite new to Excel is that once you've got your reports like this and your graphs like this, you can click on it, right click, copy, go to Word, right click, and then click on this picture. And then you can reshape this and copy that and paste it into any of your Word reports or PowerPoints, etc. And obviously you can format this and do extra things. So hopefully the downloadable template is a great starting point for you. You can follow the formulas in there. It's reasonably simple from an Excel perspective. I hope it's really helpful, and I hope that I've given you some real genuine insights as to how you can apply this amazing Pareto principle.